knows he's got space in your brain, body, and heart for as long as you live.
But I don't think about that.
I know you don't consciously. And you probably don't think about being raped, but you think about the fact that you've not been loved at the level you want and deserve. Is that fair?
Could be.
Could be. Okay, that's fair. I appreciate you being honest. You're not positive. And one of the reasons you wouldn't be positive is to think about that. Even that hurts a bit.
We will see that not feeling loved enough is exactly at the core of Sam's predicament.
So thank you for your courage for that, and thank you for your honesty with this piece. And there's a place we can weave to where you can start to have freedom. I'm not suggesting you'll never have pain again or you'll never be pissed off. I think those things have actually served you. Those muscles now are overdeveloped, though. You know, if you overdevelop your bicep, your tricep gets out, and then all of a sudden this neck muscle's out, and then all of a sudden you got a problem right here at the base of your skull, and then that runs right down your back, and now you got back problems, and before you know it, you react to everything because you're in pain all the time. And I wasn't talking about your body just now. So, how would you know if Daryl loved you?
Tony is asking Samantha what specifically has to happen for her to feel loved. She needs to be clear on this in order to know what she is asking for in the relationship. Take a moment to ask yourself, what has to happen for you to feel loved? What do others have to do for you to really feel loved?
How would I know?
I mean, he really loved you. Has he gone and screwed around with another woman?
No.
How would you know if he loved you? Do you know he doesn't, or do you know he does?
Sam's response confirms that not feeling loved is the deeper source of her anger and frustration. This will be Tony's primary focus from now on.
By the way, Daryl, while she's thinking, when she turned around and said, how's that feel? Whatever she said was basically, I don't think she said the word, I don't know, would you use a word like?
Yes.
Oh, yes, okay, no problem. There was no hesitancy on that, I see. What do you put in the word, in front of the word when you want to emphasize it? Is like a pronoun, an adjective, a verb. What do you say to him? I'm not Australian, so I don't know the term of art.
Not all the time.
Yeah, I understand.
I'll go to lazy fat.
Lazy fat. That's good. That's good. It kind of made you smile to even think about that, didn't it?
When working with an angry spouse, Tony asks what's the worst habitual insult they have used, so he can later use those same words in a humorous way to refer to their past conflicts and emotions.
Now, there's a reason it makes you smile. Why does it make you smile, say lazy fat? There's a part of you that likes to be able to say that to him every now and then, because you're really trying to get, Daryl, what she's really trying to do is get you to show up and be a man instead of a pussy. I know you're scared because you love the woman, you don't know what to do. So you know what to do and you run inside your little cave. I know that's not who you are as a man. I'm not making a comment about you as a man. I'm just telling you the reason I can tell you that.
He's not a pussy. He's got everything he wants.
Really? He doesn't have you happy? More importantly, first of all, how many think a smile is the sexiest thing on a woman? Raise your hand if that's right. Second question. Well, when your woman's totally unhappy, how do you feel no matter what? Say it out loud. Well, there's that word again. Now, I didn't coach them on that word. It was a universal response in the English language. You're unhappy? I'm shit. So these men who seemingly don't care are more like you. They get angry, pissed off, or internal, but what they really do is they feel unworthy and unloved, and they are in survival. That's where he is. He wants to please, but probably thinks he can't, then nothing will work. True or false? There's the answer. It's not in your head. The answer is in his face. It's not what he tells me. You can see, he's nodding his head. He's scared shitless. He doesn't look scared because he's a man. He's not supposed to.
Having redefined Samantha's emotional needs in solvable terms, Tony must now apply the 7 master steps to Samantha and Daryl's relationship. Research shows that a withdrawing and stonewalling husband is frequently the kiss of death for a marriage. In troubled couples, it is typical that one withdraws while the other pursues, even though the pursuit may be felt as an attack. The more one withdraws, the more the other pursues, and the more one pursues, the more the other withdraws. Knowing that this is the vicious cycle that he will have to change, Tony redefines Daryl's stonewalling as an expression of hurt or fear, and Samantha's attacking pursuit as the expression of the need to be loved. Ultimately, the way to break the vicious cycle is to strengthen each partner, to get them to clearly see the other's behavior as an expression of the need to be loved, and for the partners to then commit to give the other what they need.
This woman's a lover. She's been waiting her whole life to be with a man she could trust and give her soul to. She couldn't even trust her own father. And I know you love her, I can see it in your eyes, but your behavior scares the shit out of her because she's already so raw, you could touch her with a feather and she'd go. And you've done more than a feather. You've been pissed, you've lost it, you've gone inside, you've run, you've done your work where you can feel significant again and certain. Tell me if I'm wrong. Okay? So you got a great woman. This woman has been hurt, and some part of you knew it and probably saw her at a time she was sensitive and wanted to give to her. That's my bet. My bet was she has a beautiful face and a great body and all those things. I'm sure you saw those things, but my bet is you saw a heart that was hurting, and as a man, you felt called to give to her, but now you feel like a failure.
Tony is defining Daryl's behavior in solvable terms. Most men in relationships would like to be able to make their woman happy. When men feel they cannot make their partner happy, they tend to distract themselves from their frustration by going into defensive behaviors, withdrawal, anger, or focusing on work for their self-esteem. It is important for women to understand that underneath these behaviors, men still want to be loved and to love. What men need to learn is that their greatest feeling of self-esteem and significance will come from their ability to continue loving their woman through any problem or upset.
And instead of talking to you, so I'm not doing all the talking, give him a microphone and let's find out how much of what I said is true. And would you, don't look at him, please, if you would, while he's talking, but do look at the screen. Daryl, how much of what I said is bullshit? How much is true? Don't bullshit us, we'll know.
No, 100% true.
Okay. What attracted you to this woman?
I was working with her, and there was just something about her that stood out, and I just fell for it straight away.
And what kind of feelings were generated in you when you were around her?
Oh, just awesome.
Yeah, and these are guy responses, one-liners, awesome, great, felt good. This is a guy. Women hate this shit. Like, well, what does that mean? Great, awesome. How many women are like, come on, give me more than awesome. Come on, let's just shit. So, Daryl, we're going to train you in a new language. It's called communication. Most men don't know anything about it.
That's what she wants.
That's right. But also, honestly, it's a part of you that has to be developed. Not just for her, for you. It's time to become a man who can have his center so strong that he can say the truth. And I want you to breathe, and I want you to feel your center as you're breathing. But not a harsh, just feel it.
Tony's leverage with Sam was that she had committed not to simply try, but to actually solve her marital problem. As Daryl joins the conversation, Tony makes sure to leverage him as well. Tony's leverage with Daryl comes from having redefined his stonewalling as an expression of good intentions. Once Daryl accepted this definition, he committed himself to acting on those good intentions. Tony also applies the third master step, interrupt habitual patterns, to the relationship between Daryl and Samantha. In this case, the habitual pattern is that Samantha feels unloved and responds with anger, and Daryl shuts down and fails to communicate. These patterns must be broken. By blocking Sam and Daryl from communicating or even looking at each other, Tony interrupted this habitual pattern. He begins to work with Daryl by changing his physiological state through a breathing exercise. The purpose of this exercise is to find your emotional center, where you are most powerful, but also most honest and open to others. You may want to close your eyes and follow the exercise as well.
And I want you to imagine breathing in your heart. Close your eyes and just imagine breathing in your heart. And even though there's all kinds of other things going on, Every time you have a thought, just only see your heart breathing. And would you do this also, just for a moment, just for your physiology? Yeah, thank you. Would you stand and just breathe comfortably? And I'd like you to put your hand on your heart, both of you, if you would. Put your hand on your heart. What I'd like you to do, with your eyes closed, is breathe deeply in your heart, continuously.
Tony developed the breathing exercise into a meditation on the heart, the center of love and compassion. Up to now, every time Tony asked Sam to follow his directives, she opposed him. Now he will influence her indirectly by asking Daryl to follow his instruction and Sam to simply follow along.
See the power of your heart. Breathe the power of your heart. And I'd like you to imagine love in your heart vibrating with no fear, like the love that maybe if you believed there was a God or you believe something gave you the gift of life, that heartbeat of love was there. A totally safe love. A love that was about giving and not taking, just truly. And just feel your heart and feel love in the heart. Feel it, see it, breathe it. Every breath should feel more powerful in your heart, more full. Feel like you're channeling the breath into your heart. And just enjoy the feeling of your heart. Picture it, see it, feel your heart. That's it. And now I want you to think of a happy moment in your life, at any age, any moment, but a moment that you were grateful for, a moment of gratitude, a moment that felt like, wow, I love this moment. Any moment at all. As a child, as an adult, when you had a child, anytime, a moment. And now I'd like you to think of a moment with this partner of yours. And I want you to think of a moment that was happy, that both of you were lit up. Did you ever have something that's so silly you couldn't stop, you laughed till you coughed, or a place where you got the giggles when you weren't supposed to? There you go. Because in your heart, you'll have answers. As you keep touching your heart and breathing in it, I'll tell you something they found out 5 years ago. Man won a prize for it. Whenever you can't figure it out, when you're stressed, they can measure the electrical response of your brain and heart, and they're radically different. But when you breathe in your heart for 2 minutes, they go in sync, and your brain gives you answers you could never get in that other state. It's a technique. It's called heart activation. It even changes your hormones. So breathe it, because in this state, you'll have a different answer. You'll both have pain from your past. Her pain is obvious, but I know you've had it too, Daryl. And she knows that some part of her loves you and has seen that pain, has wanted to heal it for you too, but she feels like a failure because you shut up so much. I'm just wondering if you both went to your heart, what would happen? Stay in your heart and ask yourself, what do I need to let go of in order to solve this problem? What belief do I need to let go of? What's a belief that's outlived its usefulness? Maybe there's another belief you need to let go of. What's the other belief? That if you let go of it, your relationship will go to another level. Belief about how your partner's supposed to be or has to be, or what they don't do or never do or won't do. Or a belief about, I've tried everything. What's the belief that just needs to go? And breathe in your heart and feel free. Give yourself freedom. Freedom comes when you get rid of the slavery of an old belief and you just let it go. You have the right to keep this belief, but it's hurting you and you know it. It's hurting yourself and maybe hurting people you love. Maybe even your children without you realizing it, because they see and hear everything, even if they're toddlers. And as you do that, I want you to remember a young child that you loved. And I want you to see yourself as a baby, because all babies are loved. Even mothers that are screwed up love their babies, because their biochemistry requires it. That's why they don't leave till later in life usually, even if they're scared of the man they're with. See a young little baby you. Go up and give him a big hug. Tell her or him, you know what, it was a tough road, but we made it. I'm on the other side, I'm gonna take you there so you don't have to go through this anymore. Give her a big hug and kiss, or him, bring him inside you. Bring him inside you right now. Breathe in your heart. And then ask yourself, what do I need to let go of? Or what do I need to believe now instead about my life, about this situation, about my partner, about myself that would free me? What new belief do I need? And if I took it on, I'd breathe deeply in my heart now. Breathe deeply in my heart now. That's it. And what would I do if I wanted to get through to this person? If I'm just going to let go of it and get through to them. Daryl, what would I do if it was in my heart and I wasn't fearful? I knew whatever she said, that when she screamed at me, she was just screaming at me to see whether or not she could trust me to keep loving her. When I keep coming towards her instead of running away, she's looking for an oak tree, an immovable force that'll be there to shade her during her hot and hurtful times. Someone who will embrace her even when she's hurting and crazy and unfair, just as you've been. Some part of you knows this can still be made right, but it's going to take you showing up as a man. She's been through pain no human being deserves to go through. No one. That little Samantha never should have had to become Sam. It's unfair, but you can heal her. Will you? Will you love when it's impossible to love? Will you hold her when she wants to run and feel her heart? Will you dig through that pain and know it's not about you? When she screams, know it's about the past, even though she calls you the name. If you will give yourself the gift to heal, Samantha, the love that's inside